What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my Dark Souls Remastered 100% walkthrough. So here we are in Firelink Shrine, and we are ready to tackle the first level of the game, the first big level, I should say, which is the Undead Burg up that-a-way. So here we go. We got the winged spear equipped, which we used in the previous episode. I'm actually two-handing it. If you want to be a little bit more conservative, you can one-hand it with your shield in the other hand, but this will do a bit more damage. And we can outrange just about anything. You see this guy running for me before he even gets to me. He's running at me. I can hit him and kill him in one hit. So this guy's coming down. The dude with the shield over there, the big shield, we're not going to go over there yet because there's actually a guy up here with fire bombs that's going to be a nuisance if we leave him alive while we go for the dude down below. And he actually did hit me with one anyway, and then his friend comes in with the double team. That's just awesome. That was not what I was hoping for, but it's all good. So we got these two guys, and you see the winged spear has a very generous hitbox. I killed both of those guys in one hit, even though they were like next to each other. So now that all those guys are dead, we're gonna come down and get this guy with the shield and wait for him to sort of attack, so he takes his shield back and leaves himself exposed. Pick up this soul item here. So on this bridge, there is actually a weapon. So jumping in this, or not a weapon, an item. Jumping in this game is not intuitive. To jump, you have to hold the sprint button and sprint towards, you know, where you're jumping to, in this case, the bridge. And then you let go and tap it right away again to perform a jump. I would recommend practicing it on flat ground before you attempt this, because if you do fall off to the side, that is a death. So you're on a sprint, 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 and then just right before you get to the bridge, tap that button again to jump over. And then you can sort of shimmy around these columns here to get to the Ring of Sacrifice. So pretty important is the Ring of Sacrifice. So you go over here to our equipment, you see we have 2 slots for rings. If you put the Ring of Sacrifice on, what this does is if you die, the Ring of Sacrifice prevents you from losing your souls. However, it is a one-time use ring. So once it accomplishes its purpose and keeps you from losing your souls, the Ring of Sacrifice breaks and can't be used again. So use those in special occasions. So we got to do the same thing to get back. We got to jump, same technique to get back over. Another very good application for the Ring of Sacrifice is if you have lost your souls and you're on your way back to your bloodstain, you can also equip the Ring of Sacrifice then. And if you die on your way back to your souls, your Ring of Sacrifice will break and your souls will still be there. You will not, lose your souls if you die the second time if you have that Ring of Sacrifice equipped on your way back to your souls. So if you go in this tunnel, turn to your left, there's a rat here, take him out and get this soul, or actually a soul. Yeah, it's a soul item. The rats actually do have a chance of dropping humanity, so keep that in mind. The rats, you can farm them for humanity technically. So over here on your left, there is a pathway. This takes us to the Undead Burg, which is, as I said, the first main level of the game. There are a lot of enemies and traps and things trying to kill you. But if you approach this area very methodically, you'll be just fine. So those two went down pretty easy. This guy is actually a firebomb thrower, so you can kill him. And then this guy tries to come out and ambush you, which I was ready for him, but I just didn't attack him quickly enough. That's just fine. I'm going to top up my health with an Estus flask. So now that those guys are gone, I'm going to circle back around here. And if you attack these barrels, they break. This reveals sort of a hidden pathway to this item down here. There's another soul item, and you can drop down. There might be an enemy behind us here. No. Sometimes he does show up behind, but you see these guys crawling over the wall here. That is an ambush, so be ready for it. I did take a couple hits there, but that's just fine. It goes to show that you don't have to be absolutely perfect at these games to do well and survive and make your way through the game here. There are cases where I'm going to be a little bit sloppy. I'm not a perfect player, but just goes to show you don't have to be perfect to beat the game. So hopefully this does give you guys, especially the new players who might be struggling a little bit of hope, showing that you don't have to be the best player in the world to get through these games. So these guys you see dangling off the edge, you can actually knock them off before they come over and ambush you. So these guys all gone now. Picked up the rubbish and on our way up the ladder. This actually takes us back to where we began the Undead Burg. So this was inaccessible before, but over here we have a humanity. And now we're back to where we started. Except all the enemies are dead, so that's good for us. So through this fog gate, oh, this guy dropped something. This is a, you know, RNG drop, but I got some fire bombs out of the deal. Not bad. So through this fog gate, those of you who are familiar with these games might associate fog gates with bosses, but that's not always the case in Dark Souls. Sometimes the fog gate just opens up the next section of the level. So over here, you might want to be, you might be tempted to try to make this jump. You actually can't make that jump. We're going to get over there a bit later. So go up here. We have our first encounter with the big ol' red dragon. We're going to be seeing him later, but he just kind of does a flyby for now. So this guy's going to make his way down, and while he's running to me, I'm going to stab him from afar, and then there's going to be another guy that's going to come over here. And then you got the archer up there, so watch out for him. So this guy make his way, gonna give him a stab. So this guy over here, you see it on the stairs, you actually want to run all the way up to this door so this archer is out of range, and then you can kill this guy. Oh, I guess he's not really out of range, but close enough. I'm going to top off my health here. Through this door around here, we have a wooden shield. Now we're going to take care of that archer that was pestering us from before. Right, take him out. And we have arrived at our first bonfire. So hooray for us, we've got a checkpoint. So if you hit X the first time, it simply lights the bonfire. If you hit it again, you rest. So resting at the bonfire is what activates it as a checkpoint, from which we will respawn if we die. It also respawns the enemies. You'll see that guy we just killed out there, and as with everyone else's, is now respawned. So, you know, a little bit of a drawback to using bonfires, but for the most part, they're good to use. One thing I want to demonstrate is I just chugged a few Estus flasks for seemingly no reason. I just want to show you if we rested this bonfire, we only get 5 Estus flasks back rather than 10. We got 10 at Firelink, and that's because that bonfire was kindled. So how do you kindle a bonfire, you ask? So you go down here, hit kindle. You can't do it because you cannot kindle a bonfire while you're hollowed. So in this game, there are 2 states of being. You start the game hollow, but you can also reverse your hollowing and become human again. And to do that, you need to use humanity. So we have some of these humanity items. I'm going to use 2 of them, actually. You'll see that 0 at the top left now becomes a 2. So we've converted 2 of our humanity items to what you could call a held humanity. We have 2 held humanity. And what that means is those 2 humanity are now at risk, much like our soul. So if we were to die, that number would go back down to 0, and those humanity would be part of our bloodstain. If we got back to our bloodstain, not only would we get our souls back, we'd also get those 2 humanity back. But you can also consume the humanity, and you can do that by using 1 humanity to reverse your hollowing. So you see kind of our ugly hollow face now becomes a regular looking human face. And then we can also use 1 more humanity to kindle the bonfire, which will now give us 10 Estus flasks instead of 5. Now, I don't recommend kindling every single bonfire, but this effect is permanent. So this, for the rest of the game, this bonfire will give us 10 Estus flasks. Even into New Game Plus, this bonfire will remain kindled. So that is very cool. But humanity is an important resource. If you have held humanity up to 10, it actually does increase your item discovery incrementally for each one. It can actually, each held humanity will increase your defense just a bit, and it will also increase your curse resistance, which curse is a adverse side effect, status effect that we're going to encounter later on in the game. So there are benefits to held humanity, but it is, as with many other things in this game, a risk-reward trade-off. I don't recommend using your humanity willy-nilly, the items, that is the humanity items, because there is a point in the game where we're going to need a bunch of humanity to level up a covenant. So we need to stock some of those items, especially if you're looking to get all achievements in this game and to do all the side quests. You will need to save a lot of your humanity items to level up that covenant later on in the game when we get to that point. So I'm killing these guys over again because there's actually a spot over here we want to get to. So these guys usually hold their shield up. For some reason, they're slow to attack. But what you can do to break their guard is you can kick them, and it breaks their guard and leaves them open to attack. So to do a kick, you see if I attack them regularly, their shield blocks the vast majority of the damage. That guy actually did attack me. I'm going to backstab this guy. The kick, to do a kick, you press up on the control stick and R1 at the same time, and you do a kick. And as I showed you, that breaks their guard. If you break these crates, you can drop down to the stairs. But beware, there is an ambush right here. So actually beat that guy to the punch. And over here, we have the Undead Merchant. So he has a few things that are very important. Do not attack him yet. because we need to buy some stuff from him. So to get ready for that, I'm actually going to pop the soul of a nameless soldier for some extra souls, because we do need quite a bit for the stuff that we're going to get from him. So yes, when we got to that bonfire back there, you know, I hope you didn't use your souls, in other words, but if you did, you can quickly farm. You can rest at the bonfire, respawn the enemies, and just farm them to get the souls you need to buy these items. So let's see. I'm actually going to use one more soul item here. I'm going to use a large soul of lost undead, is it? And then get some extra souls here. So now we're gonna talk to him and buy what we need. So purchase item. He's got a lot for sale, including the residence key, which is important. You'll see it's 1,000 souls. We're actually not going to purchase the residence key though, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm gonna pick up the bottomless box. This allows you to manage your inventory at a bonfire, and basically it'll help you like clean up your inventory so you're not carrying around a bunch of stuff that you're not going to be using anyways. So I'm gonna pick that up, and probably the most important thing is actually the bow. I do highly recommend picking up the bow. We are going to be using it in the next episode for something very important. So definitely pick up your bow. And I'm going to use the rest of my souls to pick up arrows. So 102 is the max I can get. I'm actually just going to get 100 of them. I recommend you do the same. We're going to be using quite a few arrows in the next episode. And so you see, we don't have any souls left for this residence key. So what are we going to do about that? I mentioned in the previous episode, I am not a big NPC killer, but if you kill this guy, he actually drops the residence key 100%. So, as they say, a soul saved is a soul earned. So I am actually going to dispose of this guy, and it makes me sad because I'm usually very friendly to NPCs, but this guy really doesn't have any consequences for the rest of the game. But killing him, as you see, does give you the residence key, which would have cost us 1,000 souls otherwise. He also drops a humanity, the orange guidance soapstone, which is what you can use to leave messages to other players if you're playing online, and 100% drop. He always drops the Uji Katana, which is a very good dex weapon. Very cool if you want to experiment with it. I'm not going to be using it on this playthrough, but very good weapon nonetheless. So we will proceed in this direction. And some more guys here. Let them kind of come to us. Well, he attacked me before I could attack them, but I got them both in one hit, so we're all good. These two guys are going to run forward, kind of do the same thing with them. Do a heavy attack, and you see I got them both in one hit, so... Very good is the winged spear. I'm just going to top off my health here. And you see, I've actually got one held humanity now. I didn't use another humanity item, but as you go through these levels and kill enemies, you know, every once in a while, the game will give you a humanity in your held humanity. So just keep an eye on that. Very cool. So, you know, I have that one held humanity. So my item discovery actually did get a bit of a boost, as did my defense. Here we got some throwing knives, a very useful item. So here's that, you know, remember that gap I showed you earlier that you couldn't jump over. Here's how you get over to the other side. You have to jump off the roof. Much like the bridge, sprint to the edge of the roof and then tap the sprint button again to jump over. Make sure that you line it up correctly because you fall over to that side, you will fall to your death. Over here, we have the crossbow and standard bolts. I'm more of a bow guy than a crossbow guy. Reason for that is I believe crossbows can't be aimed manually, and you can aim a bow manually, so I find that bows are much better to use in that sense. This is basically back to the beginning of the level, so we're kind of retracing our steps here, and you can kill those guys if you want for the souls. I'm not particularly interested, so I'm just going to leave them be and head on my merry way. You can also rest at the bonfire. That will respawn everybody. I don't really need, you know, the flasks back. I've got 9 of my 10, so I'm not gonna worry about respawning everybody. So these guys you see there are firebomb throwers that will hit you if you stay still on this bridge. So sprint across the bridge, knowing that there are enemies in here that you're going to need to attack. But we have range on them. So that guy did hit me, but that's fine. I'll take him out. We're safe from the fire bombs, which is the main thing. That guy was coming after me, but that's fine. Let him attack and then get him. And he dropped the longsword. So this gate does not open yet. It is going to be a shortcut for later, so don't worry about it. And here's going to be an enemy, so be ready to attack him. And then around this corner, very sneaky, is another enemy, so be ready to attack him so he doesn't sneak up behind you. And in this room, we have a treasure chest with black fire bombs, which is basically a stronger version of the fire bomb. Use them in exactly the same way as you would regular fire bombs. Around here, got some more enemies. I'm gonna let this one kind of come down to me, if you will. One of them throws firebombs, so I don't want to rush on in and get myself into trouble. That's the one that throws firebombs, yeah. But this other one should come after me. Yep, there he goes. So you'll see. Oh, he hit me. That's cool. There we go. So you see, killing him gives me 60 souls. And this next one I'm going to kill will also give me 60 souls. The same enemy type. Now, this one is the same enemy type, so you'd expect 60 souls, right? Well, I'm actually going to backstab this guy. And you'll see something interesting, is that when you backstab, I'm getting 72 souls, not 60 souls. So if you kill an enemy via critical hit, so whether that be via backstab or parry and riposte, you actually get more souls than you do from just a regular kill. So these guys can be annoying. I kind of like to run and go to the other side of them so they can't hit me with their fire bombs, or at least it's less likely. That he still did, but get these guys. Could have went a little bit better, but wasn't bad. Get the soul item over here, and now these guys will not be able to hit me anymore. And actually picked up a fire bomb and some other stuff. Good, good, good. So drop back down where we were before. And through this door, we use the residence key that we got from the merchant. Also, I believe the master key opens this door as well if you've got the master key. So got some gold pine resin. So that imbues your weapon. If you use it, it imbues your weapon with lightning. So it basically acts as a buff. Very, very good. We're actually going to be using it for the next boss that we fight. So very solid pickup. Up here is an archer we're going to take out so he can't annoy us later. And right here, I'm going to equip my throwing knives to show you a good use for them. These are very good for forcing one-on-one encounters when you come across like a group of enemies. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. This guy is not cooperating, so kick, break his guard, and boom. So you see these two guys standing together. If we were to run up, they'd both attack us at the same time, but you see I can lock onto them. And if I use my throwing knives, I can hit him with the throwing knife, and I can aggro one of them at a time. So much better than fighting them both at the same time, for sure. So got him. And so this next guy we're going to fight. A bit tricky, not going to lie. This is a Black Knight. So those of you who came to this game after playing Elden Ring, the Black Knights in this game are basically this game's version of the Crucible Knights. They do not respawn after you kill them. They are quite powerful. And if this gives you trouble, don't fret. It's not a big deal. You will be just fine, even if you completely ignore him. But I do suggest killing him if you can. I'm going to show you how to do it. So if you can get a backstab to start this fight off if you're crafty enough. You want to be close enough to where you can get the backstab, but not close enough to where you aggro him, and not too far away to where you just attack him normally. So I did attack him normally. That's fine. I didn't get the backstab. I have done it before, but anyway, he's going to chase you. I suggest luring him back up here. It's much easier to fight him back up here because the way we're going to kill him is by circling him and getting backstabbed. So make sure you have your shield out. Bring him up here because it's much easier to maneuver up here. Come on, buddy. And so the best way to kill him, the easiest way to kill him, is to have your shield up, block his attacks, and circle around behind him to get backstabs. So I will demonstrate what I mean by that. So shield up, get behind him. Oops, I didn't get behind him. You'll see how little damage my regular attacks do. But if you get behind him... Oh, not doing a very good job of getting behind him. That's just fine. It will happen eventually, I promise. There we go. Backstab. If you need to heal, make sure you heal like while he's on the ground like that, because if you try to heal, otherwise he will run up and try to get a cheap shot on you. Backstab. You can also parry these guys. Parrying, as I've said before, is a bit more risky, but it's probably quicker to kill them if you're good at parrying. But if you're new to the game, I would not recommend that. But just to show you, you can parry these guys. And you do more damage with a parry and riposte than you do with just with a backstab. But backstabs are easier to do repeatably. So one more should get him. If you kill him, he has a chance of dropping his equipment. So this one's using the Black Knight shield and the Black Knight sword. It is a random drop. He may drop one or the other. I got the Black Knight Sword. Wow, that is actually quite rare. Black Knight Sword, very good weapon. I don't have the stats to equip it yet, and I'm not going to equip it for this playthrough because I do not want to rely on weapons and equipment that are RNG based, because if I'm using the Black Knight Sword and you're trying to follow this guide and you don't have the Black Knight Sword, if you didn't get that drop, then you won't be able to follow my build to exactly, and I don't want to do that to you guys. I want to make sure that everything I'm using can be 100% guaranteed got in everyone's playthrough. So I will not be using the Black Knight Sword, but if you want to use it, if you got it and you want to use it, by all means, it will be good when you have the stats for it. So up here, watch out. There is a barrel that this guy's going to roll down, and he's going to come down and fight us. One other note about the Black Knights, they do not respawn. Their equipment, though, their swords and shield is required for the weapons trophy in this game. They do not respawn until the very last area of the game. And the last area of the game, you will fight Black Knights that do respawn. So all of their equipment that you miss along the way from the ones that don't respawn, you can actually get at the end of the game. And all of their equipment is required for that weapons trophy, by the way. That door down there, I would not recommend going through it. You can open it with the master key, but there's a guy down there waiting for you that will basically kill you in one hit, so I would not recommend going down there quite yet. In this barrel is a crystal lizard, our first crystal lizard. You want to attack them as quickly as possible. They will try to run away from you. If they run away from you, they will disappear, and then you'll have to quit and reload to respawn them. So I got Twinkling Titanite and Large Titanite Shards. That's not bad drops. So they drop upgrade materials is kind of the thing. If they do get away from you, you can quit out and reload your game, and they'll respawn if they disappeared. Now, if you kill them, they do not respawn. But if they disappear, you can respawn by quitting and reloading. And it's basically like once they're gone, they don't respawn until your next playthrough. So just be aware of that. So through this fog gate, actually, whoa, wait. Where we killed the Black Knight, there is actually an accessory that we're going to get. I do not want to forget that. So go back down to where we fought the Black Knight. And just past him is the blue tearstone ring. Don't want to forget that. I'm actually going to top off my health. You know, we're about to fight a boss, but I've got 7 Estus flasks left. That should be more than enough for me. So we've got the blue tearstone ring. So I'm not going to go back and rest just to get my 10 Estus flasks. That will respawn everybody, and I don't want to have to kill everybody again to make my way back over there. But I mean, if you want to farm souls, be my guest. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But for the sake of moving things along here, I'm not going to do that. So I am going to equip the blue tearstone ring. What this does is it boosts your defense when you're at 30% HP or less. So quite nice. I did equip it right. Yep, here we go. So yeah, very cool. So don't forget to pick that up. I almost did. So through here is our next boss encounter, and I said I'm going to use the gold pine resin on him. So make sure you have that equipped. Traverse the light. He's not going to appear immediately, but what you want to do before he appears is you want to hook around here, climb this ladder. There's a couple archers up here that will pester you if you don't kill them before triggering the boss fight. So make sure you climb up here first and get these guys. It'll make your life easier, and you'll thank me later. Nope, actually got hit by that one. That's fine. I'm going to top off my health before I... oh, he wanted to heal too. I'm going to top off my health before triggering the boss fight here. So go down the ladder. Actually, if you... quick little tip, if you press circle while on a ladder, you'll slide down and go down a ladder a bit quicker. So what we're going to do is we're going to equip the gold pine resin about halfway down the bridge, trigger the boss fight. Once he shows up, we're going to want to run all the way back to where we just were because we can get a plunging attack on him. But you want to run, you want to be quick because he will try to come over here and attack you if you're not quick enough. So sprint all the way back to this ladder. What we're going to do is we're going to do a plunging attack, and then we're going to try to run to the other side of the bridge. So see, he will try to attack you if you're not quick enough, and it will hit you. So make sure you run all the way back. So we're going to do a plunging attack here. I am actually going to unlock from him real quick. Did a bunch of damage from that plunging attack, and I want to run around him to get to the other side of the bridge because you don't want to get cornered by him. But the best way to fight him is like to bait his attacks. So when he does that jumping attack, the best way to evade it is to run back, or to roll backwards rather. And so what I do is I bait his attacks, just kind of scoot backwards, let him do his attack, and then run in and give him a little poke and rinse and repeat. So he's going to do his jump attack, roll backwards from that, run in, give him a poke, and let's see, he's doing his slam attack, just backpedal, run in, give him a poke, and just kind of rinse and repeat until he's dead. He's not that bad. If you die to him, no worries. I mean, in my first playthrough, this guy took me a few attempts. Not a big deal. It's just part of the game. You learn stuff every time you encounter a boss. Even when you die, you learn something and you can apply it the next time you fight him. So that's how you fight the Taurus demon. We got a humanity and a homeward bone for our trouble. And pretty solid. So that's you know, aside from the tutorial, that's like our first boss fight under our belt. So anyway, with all that being said, I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut this episode right here after the Taurus demon. That's a perfect place to stop. So thank you guys so much for following through this walkthrough. I hope it's helped you out very much through the Undead Burg. We've got a lot going on. The next episode is gonna be pretty fun. So I hope you guys stick around, and we'll see you guys next time.